Hello and welcome. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Tonight, President Buhari calls for unity among Nigerians, says true federalism is what the country needs at this time, as he's honored by the Progressive Governors Forum in Abuja. Appeal Court strikes out Justice Walter Onogen's appeal against a motion ex parte granted by the Code of Conduct Tribunal, ordering him to step aside as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Inspector General of Police announces arrest of over 150 suspected kidnappers across the country as he meets with police commissioners and other senior officials in the nation's capital, Abuja. And dozens feared dead after migrant boat capsized off the coast of Tunisia.
On Business News tonight, economic and market analysts commend the reappointment of Godwin Emefiele as central bank governor. Expects continuation of growth policies and intervention.
In Sports News tonight, Roger Federer's quest to win the Madrid Open for the fourth time on his return to clay comes to an end at the quarter-final stage.
And from Abuja, 894 children released from the ranks of Civilian Joint Task Force in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital.
The president believes Nigeria needs true federalism at this stage of its political evolution. President Muhammadu Buhari mentioned this today while delivering his keynote address at the award ceremony organized by the Progressive Governors Forum in his honor. He also revealed the plan adopted in removing the then ruling People's Democratic Party from office, saying it's a piece of history that should be documented. Our correspondent Ibrahim Adra has this report.
President Buhari been ushered into the State House banquet hall. Waiting to receive him are the progressive governors, ministers, legislators and scores of APC members and supporters.
Mr. President, most of our colleagues still...
The chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum spoke first.
Most of us will not be here again to share those wonderful moments with you as Governors Forum. I'll come and share with the Vice President at the Economic Council. We're sent by on the 29th. But I beg of you one thing. These founding fathers are the only people that can write the story and the history of your journey. I want you to embrace them from time to time.
Governor Okorocha saluted the governors for their roles in their states, support for the APC and the president, including the APC chairman Adams Oshomole, who sent a representative.
There's one that is not here, but if I call his name, you will remember. The man is full of trouble. He's not as tall as you are. In other words, he's short. His name is Adams Oshomole. He's not here.
Mr. Okorocha then invited them for a handshake with President Buhari.
Governor Makura, please may you rise. And can you take some few steps to Mr. President? Have a handshake of your loyalty.
Thereafter, they were honored with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo making the presentations. It was then the president's turn to be honored.
National Assembly.
He expresses joy for the honor, then called for support for his administration, adding that it's time for true federalism.
It will be belaboring the point to say that true federalism is necessary at this juncture of our political and democratic evolution. At a time when some few privileged individuals and groups have chosen to exploit and manipulate the ethnic and religious fault lines for seeking personal and partisan advantage, we need to build bridges across the different divides and instill faith in the unity and indivisibility of one Nigeria.
The president also recalled what he calls a unique piece of history and a lesson on how to remove an opposition party from office.
We decided that there was no way under the system we could take away control from PDP without coming together. So we agreed to have committees, each party, develop terms of reference, gave those committees to go and negotiate how we can merge. But none of the committees has the power, to give any impression that the committee itself can cause or stop the coming together. They are there to listen to all the parties' committees, representations, and report back to their parties. It was the party's executive that would come together and agree on how to go about it. This is a very important political development in Nigerian politics.
He believes such unity among the diverse groupings in the country is required to make progress. Some politicians at the event believe it's an honor deserved.
His body language is that of fighting corruption. And so anybody who wants to be corrupt will be afraid to be close to him.
For many of the guests, President Muhammadu Buhari is set to achieve even more successes in his second tenure. From the presidential villa, Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
Now let's take a further look at the issues arising from the comment by the president on true federalism. And we're being joined by a former senator and historian, Professor Banji Akintoye. You're welcome to the news at 10.
Thank you.
Now, did the comment by the president on the need for true federalism in the country at this time take you by surprise?
Yes, it is surprising.
Why?
Because of his posture hitherto. He has made it clear again and again that he has no business with restructuring the country and taking it back to a true federalism. Because that's what restructuring means. You restructure this country and give us a true federation. He has said he has no business with that, repeatedly. Soon after he became president, he made a statement that he has not read and does not intend to read the report of the 2014 National Conference. And they had no intention of asking for a brief on it. And a few days later, his men made the statement that restructuring was not part of his agenda. And he has made it clear over and over again that that was his position. So suddenly today, to hear the president saying that he believes that a true federation, true federalism is the right thing for Nigeria now going forward into democracy, I find that very, very surprising.
Any idea about what would have made him have a change of heart?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have a feeling that perhaps he is beginning to have respect for the people of Nigeria. He's having respect for the people who have been demanding, in the interest of our countries, not in the interest of any personal anything, in the interest of this country, that this country be restructured so we have a proper federation. If he is now ready to have respect for such people, and he's ready to do what the people of Nigeria really want, then that is, it's not only surprising, it's also a pleasant surprise.
Do you see this eventually leading to what different groups in the country have been clamoring for, which is to have restructuring?
Yeah, that's what different sections of the country have been clamoring for. Some of the elder statesmen in the country have stated this again and again. They've come together in different fora in order to say it. The Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum, for instance, has taken the lead in the past 2 years, demanding again, persistently and patriotically, that the country be restructured so that we have a proper federation. And it's obvious. A country like Nigeria, with so many different peoples, with so many different locales, with different economic and other resources, with different ambitions and intentions and desires, cannot be governed by any government from the center. And we have not been properly governed since 1999 on the basis of this excessive collection of power in the hands of the federal government. The constitution that was written in 1999 to make this type of situation possible was a disservice to our country. If President Buhari is now telling us, I am persuaded, I agree, I will now do what the people of Nigeria want, then we are pleasantly surprised. But he must not make the mistake that we can be deceived into thinking that merely saying it has done it. No. The taste of the food is in the eating. When he starts to work on a program that we can see shows a clear line to restructuring and to a true federation.
So do you think he will be able to walk the talk? With what he has said?
If he would walk with it.
Walk?
If he will move forward with it and get it and start to get it done.
And will you be willing to work with him?
Every Nigerian should be willing to work with him. If a man, anybody, not even a president, if a man comes before you and says, I want to do a good thing for your country, for our country, you have a duty of helping him. So if our president says, I am going to do the right thing for our country now, he deserves our support. Then
thanks.
He will deserve our support then. But he must not just end saying it, I repeat. He must show that he is really doing it. It is when he's doing it that he will deserve the support, not when he has said it.
Many thanks, Professor Banji Akintoye, for sharing your thoughts with us on the News at 10.
Thank you.
The governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, has been reacting to the controversy trailing the creation of the Kano Emirate Council, and he insists the action was not a move to settle personal scores with anyone. In an interview, the governor explains that the exercise was carried out to make the traditional institution more effective. He was speaking on the sidelines of an event organized by the Progressive Governors Forum in Abuja.
They are entitled to their own opinion, but we are taking Kano to the next level, and we need active participation of the traditional system, especially in the areas of education, areas of health, areas of security, areas of agriculture. You need the effectiveness of the traditional rulers. And by decentralizing it, and we are following history. So it's not a vendetta. I'm not against him. In fact, he's supposed to be under a local government chairman according to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's the chairman of a local government who is supposed to, discuss issues with him, not the governor. So it's celebrated by the people of Kano. And we shall make sure that the new Emirate Council are effective in terms of, developing Kano State.
Meanwhile, a high court sitting in Kano has ordered Governor Ganduje, the Kano State House of Assembly, the Speaker of the Assembly, the Clerk, and the Attorney General of the state to not implement the breakup of the Kano Emirate. The court order follows an ex parte motion filed by Honorable Sule Gwazo, asking the court to restrain the respondents from taking any action of creating 4 additional emirates. In an order of interim injunction, the court directed all parties in the suit to maintain status quo pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. Governor Ganduje signed into law a bill on the creation of 4 additional emirates on Wednesday. In part 2, after the break, police say no stopping of raids on nightclubs in the city, Abuja, as the National Human Rights Commission summons head of the Abuja Environmental Protection Agency to explain reasons for action. Please stay with us.